Hey guys, Ed here, bringing you part 11 of the Archer series. I hope you guys enjoy. That said, let's get into it.
Fearless.
Where we last left off, Izuku defeated Berserker, and in doing so, he went all out, causing him to lose consciousness and shocking everyone again. After the onslaught, the students were inspecting the damage. Kirishian would say, "Damn, I had no idea he could do that. But I do have one question. Didn't he have a fire quirk? Why didn't he use fire?" Momo, annoyed, he would say, "I don't know. I don't think that's what you should be worried about. Look around us. It's a bloody mess. Literally. If you were to add fire, it would look like descriptions of hell itself. Not to mention, he's Archer, and Archer is a murderer. And he shouldn't be in hero school." Todoroki would say, "But didn't Archer save you and your father a while back?" Momo would say, "Not the point." Ochako would say, "Like I mentioned earlier to Jiro, he's a bounty hunter." Aizawa would say, "Speaking of which, we should get in contact with the main campus, and probably take Mato to Rikarigo. I think he went past his limit." 13, whispering to Aizawa, she would say, "Don't you think we should, take this chance and put him out of his misery?" Aizawa would say, "Although that would be an option right now, Principal Nezu was clear when he said to not get involved with this clock tower. So I'd say to leave it as is. And for the time being, we should treat him as Mato, not as Archer." As a sudden boom came from the main entrance, revealing All Might ready for the lesson. All Might entering, he would say, "I am here! How have you students found this rescue exercise?" All Might was shocked as he looked around, only to find mass destruction littered with dead bodies impaled with swords inside of the USJ. He went to Aizawa to find out what happened. All Might in shock, he would say, "Aizawa, what happened here?" Aizawa would say, "We were ambushed by villains." All Might would say, "But they're all dead! I want to say that I know you well enough, but this couldn't have been you or 13. The only person who could have done this, where is he? Where is Archer?" Mo pointing in the direction, she would say, "All Might, he's over there." All Might charged towards the unconscious Archer, only to find out it was one of his students. All Might felt an immense pain, realizing that his own student killed his best friend and sidekick. He managed to put those feelings aside as anger overtook him, and for the second time in his lifetime, he wanted someone dead. He charged up a Detroit Smash to finish Izuku off, but he felt cold steel on his neck, stopping him in the process. All Might would say, "Who are you?" Saber would say, "You may call me Saber, and I advise you to step away from Archer, if you cherish your life, that is." All Might would say, "So you're with him?" Saber would say, "Yes and no. I'm merely here to keep an eye on him, and making sure that fools like you don't try anything stupid. Now, I will ask again. Step away now, or die." The tension grew, and Saber put some pressure, causing a small cut in his neck, drawing some blood, until Aizawa intervened. Aizawa pulling All Might away, he would say, "All Might, stop acting rash. Do you want to get yourself killed?" All Might looked away. Saber would say, "So, you must be the famous Eraserhead I heard so much about." Aizawa would say, "And where did you hear that? Last I checked, I haven't made any public appearance, and most people don't know who I am unless they see me in action." Saber would say, "Simple. I heard about you from my master, and I heard from Archer's comments about you while I was tailing him from the shadows. But I digress. I'll be taking Archer for now, and You'll hear from him once he's up and about. Before anything else could be said, Saber picked up Izuku and vanished. All Might would say, "Why, Aizawa? Why didn't you stop me?" Aizawa would say, "Did you forget already? Principal Nettles told us, and you in particular, to look away. And if anything, Mato alone took care of things here, protecting the students." All Might would say, "So, what if I would have been here? I certainly would have been able to..." Aizawa cutting him off, he would say, "You would have been dead, because the villains, or rather one of the two that escaped, wanted your head. I believe that Mato is stronger than you think. And if he struggled, let's just say you probably would have failed. So we should count ourselves lucky that nobody else was harmed." Meanwhile, somewhere in the shadows, a man stood as he teleported the two villains away from the USJ to him. "I am glad to see that the two of you are well." Shigaraki would say, "Thanks, Master. But how did you know that we needed to get out from there?" "Simple, young Tomura. Kurogiri had a failsafe. If he were to die, I would have been alerted and used one of my quirks to teleport you away immediately." Gilgamesh, pissed, he would say, "You feeble mongrel! How could you? I was so close on getting rid of the fake, and thanks to you, I lost Berserker." "I told you not to call me that. You either call me Master, or All for One." Gilgamesh would say, "Screw you, mongrel. Give me one good reason on why I shouldn't kill you here and now." All for One would say, "How was I supposed to know? And was it you who said that there were two cards there?" Gilgamesh, confused, he would say, "How could you know that? I only found out... Wait. Use a teleporting lowlife to see and hear what we did." All for One would say, "Someone is quite perceptive. I was doing it to make sure that you were safe." Gilgamesh would say, "You were spying through your servant. That is even beneath me." All for One would say, "No, I wasn't spying. If anything, I was keeping an eye out for you guys. Think of it as a babysitter watching children in the park and bailing them out before they got hurt." Gilgamesh will say, "Are you mocking me? I am no child. I am Gilgamesh, the king of heroes." All for One will say, "Are you though? Because to me, you look like a child that's still green around the ears and has a scent of milk in your mouth. You could learn more here with my guidance than going to UA." Gilgamesh would say, "I'm in UA to find servants and the other class cards without raising suspicion, unlike the buffoon over here trying to get your spy found out before your objective has been reached." All for One would say, "True, I underestimated you. So how many cards have you found so far?" Gilgamesh would say, "The cards in my possession, aside from the true Archer card, is Caster. I found Lancer. I need good timing with him, otherwise my cover will be blown. I just lost Berserker. I believe the fake has Rider. Last time I heard from Assassin, she was around doing some killing. Huh. I guess the other card I sensed was Saber. Interesting. I wonder which one was it?" All for One say, "From what I heard, those cards have one of many heroic spirits, derived from legend and myth. But the best known legends are more likely to be around. And judging by a lot of cultures, King Arthur's legend is one of the best known alongside the Knights of the Round Table, as well the undefeated legendary swordsman Miyamoto Musashi. Gilgamesh would say, "Whatever the case, I'm out of here. Don't bother me for useless shit." We cut back to UA, after the USJ incident, while the students were in their homeroom trying to process everything, while Ochako was the only one in Recovery Girl's office, where the UA staff are having a meeting. Nezu would say, "I called you all here because there was an incident at the USJ." Vlad would say, "Why are we having it here and not in the conference room?" Nezu would say, "Well, as you can see, Miss Uraraka is going to be joining us. Miss Uraraka, I hope that you don't mind." Ochako having a sweat drop, she would say, "Do I even have a choice?" Vlad would say, "Why is this student even here?" Aizawa would say, "She has vital information that can help us with the predicament we're in. Not only that, but she also knows Archer on a personal level." Vlad would say, "Whatever, fine by me." Nez would say, "Good. Now for the majority of you already know, Archer visited us in our previous meeting, and we came to an agreement. But what we didn't know was his identity, and Sir Night-Eye was about to bring something up regarding it, and it got him an arrow in his throat, killing him." Vlad would say, "Okay, I get that, but she hasn't said any information on Archer yet, let alone his identity." Nez would say, "It's best if Aizawa explained what transpired at the USJ." Aizawa would say, "As we mentioned in the previous meeting, there are after these cards. And there was this guy calling himself Gilgamesh, and he called Archer a fake, and they were going on about the cards. So if anything, we had two Archers from the get-go." Vlad would say, "Wait, you mean to say that Archer was there from the beginning?" Aizawa sarcastically would say, "Astute, Vlad. Yes, he was there because Archer was hiding in plain sight, as my student Izuku Mato." Vlad in shock would say, "You mean to tell me that Archer was in your class this entire time?" Aizawa would say, "Yes. And as he was struggling against Berserker, another one with these cards, but eventually Berserker died alongside every other villain there except for two." Vlad would say, "You mean to say that he took down the brute and then the small fries?" Aizawa, facepalming, would say, "No, I probably wasn't clear enough. He fought Berserker, kept us safe, and killed the other villains at the same time. And used some weird thing, I don't remember what it's called, but it was like a landscape of sorts with swords all over." Neza would say, "Oh my, a reality marble. Even with all the heroes combined, we won't be able to take him down. It's quite troublesome. And what about his whereabouts?" Aizawa would say, "A woman, she called herself Saber. She took him." Nez would say, "Great. That's what we needed. Miss Uraraka, could you provide the details we are missing?" Ochako would say, "Like, what kind of details? I don't know if I can." Vlad slamming his hand angrily, he would say, "Listen here, young lady. During our last meeting, Sir Night-Eye died, Miracle was hospitalized, and Endeavor injured. If you got anything on Archer, tell us. Now. That bastard doesn't deserve to live." Midnight would say, "Calm down, Vlad. We won't get any results if you act like that." As I would say, "Besides, I believe she's been holding back." But before anyone could ask, a knock on the door could be heard, only for it to be Nezu's secretary. The secretary would say, "Mr. Nezu, there's a woman waiting to speak with you." Nezu sighing, he would say, "Let her in." The woman entering would say, "Hello there. My name is..." Ochako, in shock, she would say, "Ayumi? Is that you?" The woman turned to Ochako, as she would say, "No, my name is Kaori. I was Ayumi's older sister. And you must be Ochako Uraraka. It's nice to finally meet you. But we'll speak in a more private setting. The pro-heroes were confused. Kaori, clearing her throat in a serious demeanor, she would say, Principal, as I just said, my name is Kaori Taosaka, and I am the representative from Clock Tower, of which deals with Archer, or rather, Izuku's antics. But most importantly, to keep him safe. Nezu sweating bullets, he would say, What can I do for you, Miss Taosaka? Kaori would say, Both my superiors and I, but mostly me, are furious. How was UA so careless and neglective of its security? You nearly cost us Archer, and if Izuku would have died, you had to deal with me personally. Alma would say, So it's fine for him to kill others? That's hypocritical. Kaori would say, Funny, coming from the symbol of peace. Why don't you drop that facade of yours? Because you're not fooling anybody. You were about to kill someone, while they were unconscious no less. What does that say about you? All Might in shock, he would say, What are you talking about? Kaori would say, Where did you get lost, Toshinori Yagi? The fact that I saw through your facade of being this very strong person, while in reality, you're just a scrawny old man near his deathbed. Or the fact that you have your own personal vendetta towards Izuku because he killed someone close to you, but he couldn't keep his mouth shut. Nezu would say, You have our attention, Miss Tosaka. Kaori would say, Good. Here's a letter from my superiors, and a long story short, me and my student will be joining UA as a way to support Archer, and make sure that there won't be close calls. Nezu would say, But what if we refuse? Kaori smirking menacingly, she would say, By all means, refuse it. But I believe you of all people would know it's futile. But you give my superiors a call and see what they say. Don't forget that even I know your dirty little secret, little Nezumi. But look at the time. I have to go now. Don't forget, read the letter thoroughly and give them a call. Or they might just show up. Nezu would say, Understood. I'll give them a call. Kaori would say, Oh, and another thing, Mr. Nezu. I'll be taking Miss Uraraka with me. Nezu would say, Very well, but may I ask where is Mr. Mato? Kaori would say, He's being treated as we speak, somewhere safe. After Kaori left, taking Ochako with her, the teachers and Nezu were left with a deafening silence. Vlad would say, Principal Nezu, what does she mean by her and her student joining us? Nezu would say, It means Clock Tower is sinking their fangs into UA. Midnight would say, So what are we going to do? Nezu would say, The only thing we can. Fight fire with fire. And break an important rule in the process. Vlad would say, What rule would that be? Nezu would say, Exposing magecraft to those outside the mage families. We cut over to Izuku. In his mindset, floating into nothingness, realizing that he was in his own mind, that meant he was probably out cold. Then he saw a figure. Realizing who she was, he didn't want to go through memory lane again. But instead, the figure spoke. The figure would say, Hey Izuku, long time no see. How have you been? Izuku, close to tears, he would say, Yumi, I'm fine. Soon we'll be together again. Ayumi would say, "You're making me sad, Izuku." Izuku tearing up, he would say, "I found the person responsible. Then I'm going to gather the cards." Ayumi would say, "And then what? What will you find at the end of your journey? Tell me. Is it worth all the pain, sorrow, and blood?" Izuku could not come up with a response, as Ayumi continued. "Tell me, Izuku, were you really alright? Breaking yourself, piece by piece? Where is the Izuku I knew?" Izuku, ashamed of himself, he would say, "He's dead. He died with you. He's not coming back." Ayumi would say, "Izuku, why do you push people away? Why do you play the role of a villain, although your actions are that of a hero?" Izuku stood in silence, reflecting. As she will continue, "Tell me, were you satisfied? Can you still keep going, knowing it's pointless? You're clinging to the past. The past won't go anywhere. You should just move on." Izuku, feeling guilty, he would say, "How can I? I can't do it. I'm weak." Ayumi, hugging Izuku, she would say, "I can tell you're tired. Why don't you rest? Why don't you sleep? At least for now. Just know, I'll be with you always." And when Izuku closed his eyes, he felt relaxed. But other than that, he could feel Ayumi's touch, and the first time in years, he could feel at peace. To be continued. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment down below. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing for more. Turn on the bell notification to be updated so you never miss a video. That said, peace out.